There's a point in everyone's life when the world tilts. You sense it not like an immediate earthquake, but as if the earth were turning gradually under your feet. It's when the burden of responsibility begins to weigh on your shoulders. Not all at once, but progressively, like a backpack that has been filled up slowly grain by grain. And then one day you get up and notice it's heavy, really heavy, and that's when it hits you. That's when you begin to realize something that all the classes, all the tales, and all the words ever spoken to you couldn't make you realize beforehand: the worth of your father and mother. It's easy to take things for granted when you're growing up. You look at your parents like they are just there. The ones who make you eat your greens, who wake you up to go to school, who yell at you when you're out too late, and who question you about your existence all the time. They are constants. They are like the sky. They're assumed, never appreciated. Until a day when the sky gets dark. Until a day when you have to be the sky for someone else. When you begin working, paying bills, making choices not solely for yourself anymore, but for others, it starts. You sense the tug of decisions that concern more than your own convenience. You lie awake at night not because you're watching entire seasons back to back, but because you're calculating how to cover costs, how to ensure the household functions, how to shield the people who now look up to you for leadership. And that's when your parents become legendary in your eyes. They are no longer figures in your life narrative, but now heroes of an epic tale you never quite read. You begin remembering the small things, the silent sacrifices, the days your mom cooked your favorite food even when she was tired, the times your dad worked overtime not that he wanted to but because he had to. You come to understand that they were never superhuman, but what they bore was humanly impossible. They bore your world. Philosophers speak a lot about duty, the Stoics in particular. Marcus Aurelius wrote of doing one's part, honoring one's station in life and in family without complaint. What he never says outright, what you only get when you live it, is how thoroughly that obligation is infused with love. Responsibility does not feel like a burden when it is grounded in love. It is a sacred privilege. Growing up, you might have found your parents too strict, too careful, too intrusive. But after a while, you come to see that love and fear can go hand in hand. They were not restricting your freedom, they were protecting you in a world that they had learned was cruel. They had lived through the storm so you could enjoy the sunshine. When the tables turn, when you begin supporting them, or others, you know how draining love can be. How love isn't endearments or gentle cuddles. Often it's sleepless nights, creaking backs, and moments of despair and silence. But you do it anyway, not because you have to, but because love demands nothing less. And here's the reality no one warns you about: the more responsibility you have, the greater your admiration for your parents. It doesn't matter if you had a perfect childhood or broken one, an affluent one or poor one. The moment you walk a mile in their shoes, even for a little while, you have perspective. The kind of perspective that makes complaints gratitude and rebellion reverence. We are living in an era that values independence. And what's wrong with that? But in the haste to be independent, we lose sight of the roots that nourished us. We lose sight of the hands that sustained us, the hearts that beat for us before we even knew what a heartbeat was. Maturity is not only about achievement or stability. It's about seeing clearly. And when your vision gets clearer, the lines of your parents shine brighter than ever. Perhaps your parents weren't perfect. Perhaps they were not. But hear this, they were learning life just like you are. No instruction book, no rewind, just a heart full of hope and a head full of fear. When you are overwhelmed, think about how they would have been feeling trying to carry you and their own dreams simultaneously. And yet somehow they managed. Somehow they persevered. It's ironic, don't you think? When you're young, you're sure you know it all. But it isn't until you begin to bear actual responsibilities that you realize how little you did know. And from that realization, we come to see our parents all over again. Not as authority figures, but as fellow travelers who trudge the tough path before us. That is a humbling moment. That takes ego away. You no longer just respect your parents. You respect them. You begin calling them more, inquiring as to how they did it, what they would do. Their counsel, previously irritating, turns into gold. Their presence, previously mundane, becomes the treasure. The tragedy of life is that it is cyclical. Just as your parents used to hold you, someday, if you're fortunate, you may hold them. And it will not be easy, but it will be lovely, because in that give and take, something miraculous occurs. love comes full circle, and you start to realize the deep balance of life, the sorrow and joy entwined, the laughter ringing out among struggles, the gravity of duty given relief by the giddiness of recalling easier times, the smile of your father when he was worn out, the smile of your mother which made your birthday special even on a shoestring. That is the dance of life. Stoic philosophy is all about mastering what we can and tolerating what we cannot. And yet with our parents there's usually a sorrow we can't avoid. The sorrow of wishing we'd appreciated them earlier. But this is the benefit of awareness, it's never too late. Every phone call you make, every expression of concern, every act of compassion, it matters. It's a gift to them. Perhaps you aren't there yet. Perhaps you haven't felt it weighing on your shoulders. But when it arrives, don't be afraid of it. Accept it. Allow it to change you. Allow it to remind you of the unseen labor that crafted your life. Allow it to lead you to become someone worthy of the sacrifices done for you. Because here's the reality: responsibility doesn't only show you the worth of your parents. It shows the best of you. It awakens the best in you that is courageous, kind, and resilient. It makes you a guardian, a caretaker, a pillar. And in becoming those, you realize your parents weren't simply bringing up a child. They were constructing a future. You. So if you're sitting there watching this and you feel the load, here's the thing to know: you are not alone. And you are not weak. You are writing a page that everyone gets to write in their own terms. But the ink you use to write it, let it be thankfulness, love, and wisdom. And if your parents are alive, don't hesitate. Tell them. Hug them. Thank them not only for what they did, but for who they are. And if they are no longer here, carry their lessons on. Let their stories inform yours. Be the kind of person they hoped you would be. Responsibility is heavy, yes, but it is also sacred. It is the bridge that connects generations, the thread that ties past to future. And in walking this path, you do more than survive. You grow. You honor. You live with meaning. Now it's your turn. Share your thoughts. What was the moment that you realized how precious your parents are? How has responsibility made you different? Let your story be a beacon of light to someone else on the same journey. Share your reflection question or even a thank you to your mom or dad in the comments. Because in sharing, we remind each other of what really matters. Thanks for watching.